Thank you, Carol, for that beautiful starting of the day on this autumn day, I guess. Morning. Jim Black, I'm the service leader today. And it's nice to see a lot of faces I don't recognize. And it's our custom, if you feel comfortable, if you are new here or have not been here in a while, to stand up and just say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and where you're from or something about you. Does anybody feel comfortable standing up and saying hi?
I'll stand up and say hi. My name is Stephen Reynolds, and I'm kind of new. I come here every time he comes here.
All right. So
And that's my cousin right there, my beautiful cousin Christopher Reynolds, who we're going to hear from a little later.
So welcome for your second time here. And your second time here.
More than two. There's been some other things he's done.
Oh, yeah.
He's a regular. He's one of you now.
Oh my. Yeah, all right. Anybody else? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I'm again David Quake. I'm wearing my name tag now from UVU in Iowa City.
Oh, hey, very good. Welcome.
Pleased to see. I just saw your Peace Bowl,
Yeah.
and we put one in at the UVU right between the labyrinth and the sidewalk with language. You have a giveaway on yours, and we have Meskwaki.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Welcome. Hi.
I'm Ruth Budick, and one of our guests is Anise Andrea Kwan. Garland, oh, I almost said that. Anyhow, she is recently moved to Appleton from Salt Lake City.
Oh, welcome.
Well, I'm Robin, and this is my husband Lorenzo. We're from Iowa. We come about once or twice a summer whenever we're in town and we can.
So another Iowa people. Thanks. The Hawkeyes are here, huh? Welcome. Okay. All right. The announcements are on the back of the service, order of service. If there's any additions or changes, Terry will bring the mic around. Just raise your hand and let us know. Oh, we've got one over here, Terry.
Hi, I'm Jane Wise, and I'm representing our outreach steering committee's third Sunday project today. So you've been reading about that in the newsletter and in the e-blast and on the back of your order of service today. So I won't repeat all of that. But what I want to do is thank you all for your donations thus far. And in July, at the end of July, our total was $1,245, which is wonderful, which means if we can do that every month until the end of June, end of our fiscal year, we can give each of our partners about $5,000. So that would be
That'd be great.
great. And in doing that, we're meeting one of our board goals of putting our faith into action in the community. So again, thank you so much from our partners, the Northern Door Children's Center, the Climate Change Coalition of Door County, and the Door County Housing Partnership, all very important organizations in our community today. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I'm Mary Smythe, and this is another thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for voting no. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having such a marvelous turnout. And we voted no across the state. Very important. Thanks.
So I'm Mark Richards, and just want to remind everybody that on the last weekend of September, the 28th and the 29th, we will hold the Climate Justice Revival in conjunction with over 300 congregations across the country. Here in Door County, we're going to have some local folks. One of our beneficiaries from the fund is going to come and speak. What we need to do this and do it well is to have some volunteers to do some cooking. Particularly, we need a verger to be here on Saturday to open the building for us and make sure we do everything right and things like that. So if you're willing to help out at all, please let me know. It's on the 28th is the Saturday, and the service is on the 29th. Thanks.
Good morning. This is Anna Knapp, and I just want to remind everyone that next Sunday at 9 o'clock, there will be a coffee with the president. So come a little early and join us in the gathering room. That felt weird for some reason. And this will be a chance for you to hear some things that the board is doing and also to give your input if you can't make it to board meetings. So this is a great chance to just sit down and have a little coffee.
So thank you. So if you take a moment to make certain that your noise-making cell phones or whatever else is turned off, and if during the service you have a hard time hearing, just raise your hand and I'll ask David to turn the volume up a little bit. There will not be a talk back today. Tomorrow, Christopher is putting on a concert here at 4:30. No, tomorrow, Monday. And I encourage you all to come, and he will have discussion then about his topic. And Christopher will be in the gathering room as we have root beer floats. And he assures me that if you come and ask him anything, he will share and talk with you. So very good. Okay. The opening words are from a book Christopher Reynolds wrote, which is a little intimidating to actually now read something in front of the author. So I apologize if I mess it up in the process. But they are powerful, though. Within a 45-minute tour of Faudigum, a perfectly functioning, Western-educated, grounded in Newtonian science was decisively dissolved. In a flash, I had suddenly died, transformed and reborn into an accidental Cro-Magnon Neanderthal heretic. The transformation did not end as we left the cave. Re-emerging into the upper world of the 20th century, I enjoyed a simultaneous seeing and feeling into all the life around me. I could sensually feel the historical and geological ages beneath my feet. Those layers themselves rested upon as if rooted in a timeless symbolic ground. I understood the shapes, the colors, motions, and intentions of each tree, bird, plant, breeze. I knew how the underlying summer patterns within and around us informed all events. In the depths of it all hummed a constant and faithful silence. Thank you. And to light the chalice The words are by Eric Hepburn. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Please stand, embody your spirit for the hymn 115, God of Grace, and then remain standing for the Unificent Affirmation and Doxology. We gather together to seek knowledge and wisdom, to explore freely the vast reaches of mind and spirit, to celebrate within a caring community those truths, ancient and modern, which give meaning and direction to our lives. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill, honor be sung in every land by every tongue. Now, this is a time in our service where there's an opportunity to share joy with others or share a concern which may lessen the burden. Again, Terry will bring the mic around. And for those watching virtually, please identify yourself when you stand. And if you share something about somebody else, please make certain that you have the authority to do so. So, any joys or concerns out there? Yes.
Hi, Pam Good. On Tuesday, Terry and I will celebrate 58 years of marriage.
Oh, congratulations.
My concern is that that's impossible because we're still only 39.
And I agreed not to play in a golf league that night.
Hi, Mark Richards again. I just want to let you know that today is Christina's birthday, and I'm not going to tell you how old she is.
Oh, very good. Okay, this is the offertory, and thank you for introducing the third Sunday collection. So I don't have to do that. Just did what Jane said. So please feel generous for the support of the three partners. Thank you. And thank you. Christopher picked a reading from Ed Tick, and a very powerful reading from War in the Soul, Healing the Nation's Veterans from Post-Traumatic Stress. Later that afternoon, our group climbed to the Buddhist temple atop Nubai Den Mountain, a scene of terrible fighting during the war, but today a place of beauty and peace crowned with a Buddhist pagoda. There, with the help of the resident priest, Bob conducted prayers for the soul of the boy he had slain. His grief continued, washing through him as he poured out prayers for this boy. He cried and prayed and cried and prayed as the monk chanted prayers for the dead. Finally, after decades of nightmares, Bob saw the boy's spirit smile at him. The soul of the boy, who would forever be 14 years old in Bob's mind, offered the aging American veteran peace and promise. That, from now on, would be Bob's spiritual ally, his helper and friend. And I just remembered Thich Nhat Hanh, who was an anti-war veteran, talked about the 13-year-old North Vietnamese soldiers stacked like cords of wood. They were out there fighting, and they were killed. So this little account that Chris shared is very real. And our speaker today is Christopher Reynolds. He is a singer, teacher, and roving shaman. His mission is to sing, to teach, to restore Americans' cultures, sacred relationships into the Anthropocene epic. He is a singer-songwriter with 20 releases. He is the lead author of the only publications on depth psychology, soul, creativity, and giftedness. He has also published in Organic Creativity in the Language Classroom. Chris is the founder of No Man's Folk. He is a co-founder of Archaeopath Ecology. He is a ritual facilitator and board member of the Returning Veterans with Warrior Journey Home. You can learn more about him on his website as unrealistic.com. So
We're realists.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're a realist.
Unrealistic.
No, realist. Thank you. Very good. So with that correction, you're a realist. Yes. So, and let's take a moment of quiet so I can clear our minds for Chris's message.
Hello, thank you. It's an honor to be here with you and hear about the peace poll that you have. I'm going to do the thing where you say what you're going to do, then you do it, and then you talk about what you did. So the second reading about Ed Tick and the healing that came during that Buddhist ritual. The work now is not so much with PTSD as what's called moral injury. Moral injury is when you do something or witness something or have something happen to you that you know is wrong. And quite often that comes as acts of betrayal by the chain of leadership or by your nation or someone that is connected with you. And the work that's being done with Warriors Journey Home is, I just want to make you aware of it. The work has to do with, we're really good at sending people to war, but to bring them back, if they're willing to go out to protect us when we bring them home, we should be willing to protect them until they can make it all the way home. And to stand between any trouble that's trying to get to them and say to them, any trouble trying to get to you has got to come through me first. So we're really good at sending people to war. We're really bad at helping them come home. And I want to give you some resources to just aid in your peace poll and your peace work because it's so important. So at the very end of the book, this is Ed Tick. We must make the pursuit of peace as mythic as the pursuit of war has been. We must make the pursuit of peace as mythic as the pursuit of war has been. The fate of our world depends on how successfully we undertake and carry through this great task. So I can tell you how it feels to be in this myth. When you're participating in it, it's not just you feel good about yourself as a sacred being and feel good about the earth. You feel proud to be a human being. And you say to yourself, if human beings can do this, I want to do this. And this is the way you can know where the places are you can work for peace. If human beings can do this, I want to do this. So 2 places where this happened that I'm bringing into the room so you can get just a touchstone of it is that I have a friend named Nia Tran, whose father fought for the South Vietnamese army. And in 1975, they were on a boat and his dad swam 2 miles to be with them. They were 19 days at sea. People starved. They ended up in Oakland. And he became my friend through a ceremony called the Sundance at Pine Ridge. I'm an adopted Lakota Sundancer. And so is he. And every year there's a prayer for all people to be healed, even after everything. And so I'm going to pass this around. There's sage here that's going to come around from the Sundance. There's people that you don't know who prayed for you so that you would move from a bad place to go to a better place, to live in a better way. And the incense is there. The Warriors Journey Home group that I was helped with the rituals, the first stop was in Hanoi. And there's still a place where they remember the Christmas bombing. There's a B-52 in a pond where it crashed into a flower market. And our first prayer that we made there, it's a pilgrimage for peace. It's that we would go there this time with gifts and trying to help a world be more beautiful. The incense you have in this bundle started in Hanoi and went all the way down to Saigon, all the way through, made the whole journey. And there's people out there that are praying for peace and they're doing the work and you don't know them. It's not a far reach though to meet them. So I'm just going to offer it to you and I invite you to take it to your heart and it won't harm you. And there's just love that wants to come to you and especially to take away your despair, take away your hopelessness, take away your fear, take away your pain, and to walk again in a beautiful world. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of big. The first reading, there's a saying in Zen that after Satori, then practice begins. And so I was not ready at all in 1986 to have this opening in a Cro-Magnon cave, and my whole way of seeing the world dissolved. And I was feeling, the way I described it isn't close to how it actually feels, but that's how it feels to be a whole human being. And the practice then that you would do is any practice that helps you remember that, helps you move out of that small mind, the mind that right now, there's a lot of teaching that our consciousness is our brain, that when the brain dies, you die. That's not true, but our whole culture seems to be based on that. So there's a way of thinking about it that I want to introduce you to. You already know this. I'm just telling you what you already know. This is from my friend Michael Olenhit's 2011 book, Fish Made of Water. So he's talking about your superficial self, that you could just go through your life and never do any inner work at all and just kind of go through like a robot or something. But there's an inner self that you can contact the divine through that. And then there's a self even beyond that. So it goes like this. To be fully human is to be aware of the self beyond the self. It is a selfless self, a sacred self. You may wonder, how can the self be selfless? It's an identity that stretches beyond imagination, beyond reason, beyond sensibility. When you come in contact with the sacred self, you realize that you are indeed connected to all that is, and your sense of self appears to disseminate, and you extend beyond the boundaries of your bodies. You extend beyond the border of your awareness. It is a mystical union with the holy. To surrender the self and receive a selfless self is the heart of all religions. You need not follow a specific religion to reach this place, but it is a journey that takes discipline. You must be willing to release the sense of self that is your identity in society, and you must go beyond your identity as a spiritual being. And it's that second one that's really important. It's not enough to say, I am an awake Buddhist, or I'm an awake whatever, fill in the blank. The goal is to be a full human being, open to love with other people, even people that aren't like you. So my friend Nia and I sat together and he said, brother, you're a warrior priest, I'm a warrior monk, but we're brothers. And so this is what the world that we're trying to make can look like. This is how you bring people home. The Ojibwe used the medicine wheel, and it represents the directions and the seasons, but it also represents the qualities of a human being. Mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So from their point of view, this is what it looks like, the world that we live in. Max Weber called this the disenchanted world. So the entire mystical world is removed. It does not exist. Your mind is based on your physical body, the brain. So any quality of mind that extends beyond your mind doesn't exist. Your emotions are yours. You are not able to feel the emotions of other people. So especially how the earth feels, that's removed. And the capacities of your body are greatly diminished. And so our whole culture says we're this. And when I went into that cave, I looked like this. And I came out connected to everything. A good spiritual practice takes you from this to this. So my friend Nia said, if you're going to Vietnam, you got to find your reason to go to Vietnam. If you think you're going to go help some poor vets, you might as well be going to effing Disneyland. So the suffering was the use of religion to wage war that was in my family, that was taught by Jesuits. And so I was detoxing from that. And the war in South Vietnam, the reason the guy burned himself, that monk burned himself because Catholic policies are being forced onto the Buddhists. And he was protesting. So I made 2 trips. The ceremony that you read in that reading from Ed Tick, I sought that out among the Buddhists. That's called a hungry ghost ceremony that they're doing. It's a ceremony that helps people move from a sad place to a better place. And even when they're dead, it helps them move, because we don't die with the body. We go on and we cycle, we go on. So we practiced this and we learned it. In the book of Ed Tick, there's a guy named Tom Tien who fought for North Vietnam. And we went to his house on the first time we went there. It was 12 American vets and families. We went there and we prayed at Tom Tien's house at his altar. And we prayed this prayer that I'm going to share with you in a little bit. But our translator said, he's saying, he never heard Americans pray this way before. And they're like, yeah, we're praying. And so another part of the work is to learn how to pray in other people's traditions in a way that makes sense to you, and you're not just putting lip service on it. But then in the last trip we made, there was a person who was called a donut dolly. So I'm plugging this book. The nation is in denial about women going to war, especially about this one. So if you look at the end, she's giving gratitude to the different women that served. Civilian women also served in Vietnam as correspondents, workers for the Red Cross, donut dollies, the USO Special Services, American Friends, Service Committee, Catholic Services, humanitarian organization. So on this particular trip, that prayer that we did in Hanoi at the Christmas bombing, we got to the museum that they have, the War Museum, and just as we're walking up in 2023, this whole bus of NDC, Viet Cong get off, and our guys are walking up to them, and they're waving to each other, and like, hey, hey, and a translator comes up, and they're like, yeah, they fought, me too, where'd you fight? And the big guy is like, I fought in Chu Lai, and the little guy in the back, Chu Lai. Chu Lai is talking, Phu Bai, and they're like, yeah, we're so sorry. And so we're all like crying there. So that's happening right in front of us. People are making peace and like, we're so sorry for everything. And like, oh, we can work together now. We can be friends. The war is over. Let's put it behind us now. And so after that Christmas bombing prayer, we're in Hanoi. This is what's happening. So the donut dolly then, she went into the donut dollies because they said, you're going to teach Vietnamese culture to the soldiers. But when she got there, she just has to pass out donuts and look pretty and visit people. She never got to do anything. And when she got back, she protested the war. And she never talked about it. And one day she was walking to work and 3 helicopters are flying over and she hits the ground in a fetal position. And like, what the heck is that? So she tries to shake it off. And then it's a few, I'll give you the clip. You can hear her story. A little while later, she goes and she's walking along. Again, helicopters are flying over. She hits the ground. Her daughter was studying to be a psychiatrist and says, Mom, you got PTSD. She says, I don't have PTSD. I wasn't in the war. She says, you were. So what it was, she remembered. She was in a helicopter and the door gunner was there, there was a Vietnamese family walking out across an open area in a no-fire zone. He says, you know, we could just shoot them. And she says, those are people down there. And he says, no, no, they're enemy, they're enemy. And so it was this, identifying with the enemy, that made her hit the ground. And the healing came in a dream very recently for her in the work. The center point then for us in this trip was at My Lai. At My Lai, there was a helicopter pilot named Hugh Thompson. When he saw what was going on, he brought his helicopter in and landed it and pointed it at the American soldiers and said, if those guys don't stop shooting, shoot them. And so Hugh Thompson stopped the My Lai massacre, and he was punished for it the rest of his life. And only recently did the Vietnamese government give him a peace tree at My Lai. So at My Lai, when we were there, we made a prayer that we would be the turning points, that don't let people who go alone be the turning point. Don't let their generosity and courage lay there. It's our turn. We can be the turning points for peace. So at the tree at My Lai, the group this year prayed with the sacred pipe that I carry for the sun dancers, that we prayed that we would all be the turning points for peace. And this dream then from the donut dolly's named Evelyn Knight. She dreamed she was at this conference and this person comes up and says, hey, Lieutenant Callie. She's like, I'm not Lieutenant Callie. She was wearing this loose shirt with Callie on it. And as she worked on the dream, she wept and she moved through it in such a way she realized that she no longer has to carry the atrocities that our nation does, and she can give it to the earth and she can move on with her life. So this is just a couple of small stories of the work that's going on. I got tons of books for you to look at. I want to just share with you to close what the Hungry Ghost ceremony song sounds like. So your part goes like this. Hey, 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 And when you do this, you sing from your place of deepest pain, deepest sorrow, like the saddest part inside of you. Sing through it and give it as a gift. Don't hold it inside of you, because holding this inside of you causes suffering to you and hurts other people. So sing through it. So find some place where you're hurting. And we'll go one more time. Hey, the prayer is very similar. Remember that little chip versus the feeling the full thing? That's the experience of a soul in hell. It thinks it's caught, but it's just forgotten itself. And you're just being asked to remember who you are and move to a better place. The image of the labyrinth is something you can use as a peacemaking tool to ask people to walk out of the sad place that they're in, touch into the soul of the new life, and come out with something different. So the bell then has to do with waking up the dead or waking up those sleeping parts of ourselves. And then I'll just talk you through the different layers, and then the silence at the end. Is the sacred. this prayer is to break the hell and wake them up where they are. And we invite them to come to a new place. Big heart. We invite you to loosen your anger. Let forgiveness enter your heart. We pray to destroy all prejudice and negative stereotypes taught to your mind. And we pray to destroy all of your negative karma. We pray to open, that you would open to receive in a new way. We pray to destroy the fires of the hell that you're in, and to multiply this song into the past, the present, and the future, and multiply all we're doing for the healing of this world. We ask that you now try to improve your condition to the best of your ability, and please move to a better place, move to a better state of mind. We must make the pursuit of peace as mythic as the pursuit of war has been. The fate of our world depends on how successful we undertake and carry through this great task. May good things be upon your house. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christopher, for taking us to a very unique place. Please stand and body your spirit for hymn 159, This Is My Song. Thank you. Now, let's see here. After this, we will have root beer floats and conversation with Christopher in the gathering room. And then tomorrow at 4:30, from 4:30 to 5:30 here, Christopher will perform and we'll have a discussion on this topic and others, correct?
This is that whole idea of moving beyond the materialism. There's great work being done of restoring consciousness to the world and not just a little corner of your brain. And it's the work of the times. It has to do with restoring the sacredness, especially the sacredness of the American household. 19 vets a day commit suicide. The most dangerous place for you if you're an American veteran is your own home. There is nothing sacred in that house because of how we're choosing to live in it. And there's lots of possibilities to open a new way to make our homes as sacred as the earth upon which we walk.
So
There you
thank you.
go.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow at 4:30
Just
in the gathering room. Yeah. So, all right. The flame is extinguished, but not our hope for the future, our courage in the face of crisis, or love we share in all the world.
Thank